Hello, welcome to this session on configuring and managing users and groups in Microsoft Intra ID and M365 Admin Center. In today's world, identity is the foundation of security and access. Whether you're working in Azure or Microsoft 365, understanding how to manage users and groups is an essential part of both administration and security profession. Here, our agenda for this video is to cover what are the different type of identities: cloud identities, synchronized identities, and federated identities. Then we will also cover how to create and manage users and groups. We will walk through how to add, organize, and maintain users and groups to keep your environment structured and secure. And we will also see how to manage user licenses and group licenses. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding of how to configure identities, streamline group management, and ensure the right licenses are in the place for your users. Let's get started.
Let's begin with identity types in Microsoft Intra. There are three main models: cloud only, synchronized identities, and federated identities. Cloud identities exist only in Intra ID. They are simple to manage and ideal for small organizations without any on premises infrastructure. Even if a cloud identity shares the same name as an on premises account, they remain separate. Synchronized identities exist in both on premises Active Directory and Intra ID. They are kept in sync using Intra Connect Sync software or Cloud Sync, with Active Directory as the source of truth. Authentication happens in the cloud unless pass through authentication is enabled while setting up the synchronization between both the directories. In pass through authentication, the authentication happens with the help of an agent present in the on premises. So basically, your passwords from on premises directory never travel to the cloud. Otherwise, in password hash synchronization, it happens from the cloud. And we would be getting into much more detail of this password hash synchronization and pass-through authentication in our further videos in this playlist. Federated identities use an external identity provider like ADFS, which is your Active Directory Federation service in your server environment. This setup supports single sign on and enforces on premises password policies, but it's more complex to configure. You need all the prerequisites first to make sure you can use the ADFS option for password synchronization while you configure the intra-connect. Choosing the right model depends on your infrastructure, security needs, and how much control you want over authentication. You will find the on-premises Active Directory in the server environment. This tool that you can see over here contains all the organizational units and users and groups inside. The groups can include your devices as well. So these OUs like development has got some users, Seattle client has got some computer objects, marketing has got the users and also a security group marketing, which includes all the marketing members inside. This is the on-premises directory, which you get in the server if you install a role called Active Directory Domain Service. If I double click on any user over here, you can see the general info, the address, the username password of the person that they can use on a domain joint computer which is connected with the server. You can check various other details like contact details, which department and which company this person belongs to, and in which groups this person is a part of. When you go to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, there is a section called Active Users where you will find all the cloud identities. All admin centers share a common directory which is Intra ID. When I clicked on Alex Wilbur, I can see the username, email, what roles it is assigned, what are the contact details, license detail. I can reset the password and block the sign in as well. In the active teams and groups section, we can find our security groups. We can create and manage a mail enabled security group also. We can manage the distribution lists, which is there to distribute the mails between the members, and also create and manage Microsoft 365 groups made for collaboration purpose. If you click on any group, you will find all the details about it. You can see the general details of the group. You can check the membership of the group and add the members and owners if you want from over here. Other settings like email and privacy and external file sharing settings can be configured from the admin center itself. Distribution list and mail enabled security group can only be created and configured in the M365 admin center. Other than that, security groups and M365 groups can be configured in the intra admin center. If you come to intra admin center and go to the user section, you will find all the users which are existing right now in your cloud directory. So I have total 10 users over here. If I click on Alex Wilbur, I can see all the properties of this user in this particular space, and we can edit all the properties also from this intra admin center. If you click on edit property, I can change the display name, I can change the email address, I can change the job information and contact information and a lot other things of this user. There is other sections in this particular space, but we will be exploring that a little later. All these users which you see over here are the cloud users, and all the groups in the group section are also the cloud groups. They are directly created onto the intra ID itself, and they both are assigned groups, and the source is cloud. If you want to bring the groups and the users and devices from on-premises directory, then you need to install one software on your server environment wherever the Active Directory is present. And you will install this software from the Intra Admin Center itself. The name is Intra Connect Sync. You will install this software. I'm going to fast forward the whole procedure because we will be discussing this particular thing in a separate video in this playlist. So I will simply agree with the terms, and you can use the express settings to just simply synchronize all the users, groups and devices from on-premises directory to the intra ID. And I have fast forwarded all the steps, and our whole synchronization process is complete. If I come back to the user sections now, in the intra admin center, I will see the number of users which were 10 before the synchronization happened are now 231. And a lot of users are coming from on premises, and now they are having an email address and a password that they can use to access the cloud services, of course when we provide them the right license. Few users like Diego over here or Alex Wilbur, Alan DeYoung, they were already there in the cloud directory. So in the column which says on-prem sync enabled, you will see no over there, that they are not coming from on-premises. And also on another thing, you can check about any user, whether it's a cloud user or it's a on-premises user. You can edit the properties, and if you're not able to edit the properties of the user, then the source of this user is the on-prem directory. You can only change those attributes which were actually created in the cloud directory itself, which were like email ID or age group or whichever things you can change over here belongs to the cloud. Otherwise, rest everything is managed from the on-prem. So if you want to change something of this user, you go to the on-prem directory. Same is the case with the groups. If I come to the all groups section, previously we had only two groups, all company and one another, but now I have got different security groups, managers, research, and managers have got all the members inside as well. And this all happened within few minutes itself. So you run the intra-connect sync software on the server, and all the Active Directory user groups and devices get synchronized with the intra ID. You can also check the source column, and it says directly over here that these security groups are coming from Windows Server Active Directory, and they can be managed also from the on-premises and Active Directory. You make any change in the on-prem directory, the Connect Sync software present on the server will synchronize that change to the intra ID. And you can check by coming over here that when was the last time the sync really happened with that software Connect Sync. And it happened some time back. If you give it a refresh, less than 1 hour ago, and everything is enabled, password hash synchronizes enabled. If you want to use the federation and you want federated identities, you will have to install a role in the on-premises first, which is Active Directory Federation Service. Once you install this role, you will get this notification to configure the federation server. You can create the server first, or you can add the federation server to a federation server farm which is already created. So there is a long list of prerequisites that you have to follow if you want to use the federation. And you can enable this federations when you are doing the password synchronization while running the intra-connect sync software. So you have to fill all these detail and then you have to configure the federation server first, and then the authentication will be handled by the federation service present on the server, not the intra ID. So for on-prem based users, the on-prem directory is the authentication source. For intra users, intra ID is the authentication source. For hybrid identity, it depends on the password synchronization option that you have used. If you have enabled federation, you can manage it from the Connect sync. Managing users and groups is a core task for any M365 admin. You can create user accounts using the admin center, intra admin center, PowerShell, or bulk import via CSV. Directory synchronization is also an option for hybrid environments. Once created, you can assign admin roles, set sign in status, specify location, and assign licenses to the user. Deleted users will be recoverable for 30 days, but security groups are not. You can also manage guest and external accounts with limited access and create mail contacts for external users visible in the global address list. Groups come in various types: Microsoft 365 group with a group mail address, distribution list, which simply means distributing your mails in all the members of the group. Security group and mail enabled security groups are also there. Security groups are just for grouping up your users or devices so that you can put policies on them or assign them the right access. And mail enabled security groups is a security group with a group mail address. And the membership in security group can be dynamic, adding members based on some rules that we will see in a while. Policies help manage naming, privacy, and expiration in the intra ID as well. Together, these tools help you organize users, control access, and maintain a clean directory. To create and manage a user, you can use the intra admin center, and you can also use other admin centers like M365 admin center. If I come to the active user section, all the existing users will be found over here and we can edit them. By clicking on the new user option, I can simply provide the first name, last name, the display name, and the email address, which is going to be my username. If you have brought some custom domain, then another option will be given in that drop down. Now it's your choice whether you want to make the end user change the password at the first login or not, and here you will provide them the license. Each license will have some apps and services which will be provided to the end user when you are assigning them the license. If you want, you can disable any service by removing the checkbox from over here. I can see intra ID P1 and P2 are included in EMS. Few other services and apps are included in the Teams Enterprise license also. Some optional settings like giving the user some admin center access is also included in the creation process. So if I provide this user Exchange administrator role or any other role like SharePoint administrator or Teams administrator, then extra permissions will be added for this user, which can be used by that person to access all these admin centers and perform administration. If I click on show all category, you can find all the relevant administrator roles over here that you can assign to this user. Because these are optional settings, so you can skip them and directly create the user as well and later on configure the directory roles for the user. So right now our user called test is finally created. We click on the close and we search for this user called test, and we find out that this particular user now exists. To assign or change any license, you can do it from here. You can sign this user out from all the sessions later on. You can add any particular admin role of your choice from this section again. You can remove any already provided access that you by mistake provided. You want to add any alternate email address, you have got the choice. If I click on Alex Wilbur, this is an already existing user from quite a long time. I can see all the mailbox permissions and other details also, and I can configure it from this side. You want to give the access of the mailbox of Alex Wilbur to someone else, that was the option there for you. I come back to the user section and all users, I have got 232 users. Now this is intra admin center. We created test user in the M365 admin center, but very well it has synced in the background with the other admin centers also. So I can easily click on create new user in the intra admin center, provide the user principal name, display name, password, and whether to enable the account or not, and my user will be simply created. So I will provide the user principal name, this time test user 2. So test 2 would be my email address. Display name is gonna be test 2 and password something random I will provide over here. If you want to auto generate the password, that's up to you. That's your choice. It should be complex, containing a special character, capital letter, small letter. That's the normal norm. First name, last name, all these are the optional attributes that you can fill if you want. And you must provide the usage location if you're planning to assign any license to this user. Adding this user in some groups will give all the right permissions to the end user that you are creating, and also some directory roles can be assigned to this new user, and this user will have some extra permissions. You can click on the review and create, and finally create option will give you the user. You can test it on the admin center and you will see very immediately this new user got synced with the M365 admin center. So it doesn't really matter where you create the user, you will find it on all the ends. To manage the license, you will definitely have to use the M365 admin center. Talking about the groups, if you come to the group section of Intra Admin Center, you will find two options only: security group and M365 group. A security group is a simple collection of your users or devices to whom you want to provide some permissions or give some access. A M365 group will have a group email address as well, which will be used for collaboration on all the M365 apps. The membership can be assigned or dynamic. So if you choose a security group, you can provide a name over here and you can add the description if you want, it's optional. If you want the whole group to get a directory role, let's suppose there are 10 members inside a group and you want to assign them some extra permissions like application administrator, all the members of this group will be able to do all the application related things from the intra admin center in your tenant, and I am providing this particular role to 4 users. So this can also be a convenient option while creating the user, but the membership will only be assigned in that case. If you are not looking to assign any role to all the users of the group, you can go for a dynamic group as well, in which the membership will be decided on a rule that you set up over here. So you provide a query on this side. Let's suppose you say all the department is equals to that particular value. So in the whole intra ID, any user who will have that department value will be added in the group. For now, let's suppose city is equal to London. That's one of the query that I have chosen. So all the users in the intra ID with the city London is gonna be added in this group. You can add another query by using the and conjunction or, and you can say if the department or company name or country, any such attribute can be picked up which is related to a user, and department is equal to sales. In this case, all the users who are having both the attributes as true will be added in the group. If you use or conjunction, that means any one of the attribute is true, the user will be added in the group. I'm going to remove the second condition and I'm only going to keep this condition saying the city is equal to London, the user is going to be added. Before actually saving this query, you can validate it by running a test on any of the user. So let's suppose Alicio. So if this user is going to be added or not in this group, the answer is no, because the city is not London, it is Seattle for this user. And I can save this query, so it will scan all the users by itself and will add the users in the group. Whenever their city attribute changes in near future, those members will be kicked out of the group as well, so the access to the resources will be secure. I'm gonna create one more group, and this time it's gonna be a M365 group, and the users inside that group are gonna be coming from a city called Seattle. So I'm gonna choose M365 group, and because I chose M365 group, I will have to provide a group email address as well. I'm gonna name this as Seattle test group, and this is gonna be my group email address. So any email sent to this particular group email address will be distributed to all the members. In security groups, you can go for dynamic device membership as well, in which all the devices will be added based on a query. But in M365 group, you can only choose dynamic user. And over here, I'm going to put the city is equal to Seattle. If you know how to write the rule syntax yourself, you can write it from scratch. That's up to you. And you can click on create, and this will easily create a group over here. If you check these two newly created groups in the M365 admin center, in the active teams and groups section, you will find both the groups. One is Seattle test, and if you go to security group section, you will find the other one as well. You can check all the basic information and other information of the group, plus what are the members, and it directly says that these many users are inside and we never manually added them. We can also decide whether the users from outside will be able to email this team or not, or what will be the external file sharing option, any sensitivity label you want to add. That's all up to you, that you can do from this side and hit the save button. If you want to see this M365 group in the Teams environment, you can easily click on this button in the M365 Admin Center which says, would you like to add the Microsoft Teams to this group? And I will say add Teams, and that is all you need to do. If you verify this, you can go in the Teams environment, you can go to the Teams client application or even the web version. You will find the Seattle test team visible in the Teams environment. You can go to this option on from top, you can go to your teams and channels, and you can see Seattle test is given over here with 74 people inside. If you want, you can manage this from the teams environment as well. Who is the owner, who is the member, what are the different settings. In the admin center also, you can go to manage teams and the Seattle test team is visible. You can click on it. If you want, you can add members, you can add channels, you can do different sort of settings for this particular teams from this admin center itself. For creating a guest user, you can come to the Intra Admin Center, click on the Create New User option and provide the email address for this guest user. I'm gonna add guest user as the name. The email address, space is not allowed. Display name can be guest user or anything that you want. You can provide your own password or let the Intra ID decide the password. And the first time the guest user will log in, they will change the password. The first name, last name, and we will change the user type here to guest because this is going to be a temporary user in our environment which has come for some purpose and then they would leave. If you want to assign license, provide the usage location, add this particular guest user in some required groups so that they get the right access to the SharePoint site or to the company resources. If they are coming for some admin task, you can provide them some directory role also and hit the create button. This new guest user is ready for you. You can search for this guest user and here is the email address and also the password for the guest user. This is going to be like your internal guest user who is going to be like a part of the company but not going to enjoy all the access as a normal member user. You can also invite someone from outside without creating any new credentials for them. So you will simply provide the email address where you want to send this invite. In my case, I'm using pranavsharma@outlook.com. I'm gonna provide a display name to this user and whatever message I want to send them as an email, I can add it over here. Please accept this invite to be an auditor in our company. That's gonna be sent as an email to the user. You can provide a CC recipient if you want to receive a copy. So whenever that user, Pranav Sharma, is gonna accept the invite, they will be redirected to this user. So Pranav will see only those applications for which he is having the access to. So as an admin, I can decide what particular applications will be visible in this section for this external invited user. And if you noticed, there was no password field. So the end user, the guest user from outside is going to use their own password. I'm going to provide the first name as external user. By default, the user type is guest and we are going to keep it like that itself. And this is going to be an auditor, so provide some job info role and directory roles so that they can have some extra permissions. External users would be using their own email address and password where they were sent the invite, so no new credentials would be created for them. You can definitely manage these users in the admin centers. So over here, I'm adding this external user to some groups and providing some directory roles so that they can perform their job efficiently. Now this guest user can be seen in the separate section of guest user in M365 Admin Center. The internal guest users will have an email address and password, but the external guest users will have a hashtag ext written in their mail address and they would not be having any password. So you don't see any password option and you don't have any option to reset it as well. You have the general information, and if you want to add some license to this user, you can do that easily from over here. Now this external user is going to be capable of using your cloud services very easily by using their own email address and their own password. Give it a refresh, and these two guest users are over here, which are temporary users. This is an internal guest user because we created this user and we haven't invited it from outside. To control this B2B collaboration, when you invite someone, you can come in the external identity section in the intra admin center, and there you will find the cross tenant access settings. If you have multiple tenants and you want to allow the users from one tenant to access resources in another tenant, you can decide that in both the directions. Inbound access settings, you can edit the configuration, you can decide the external user and group access status, you can check the application access status and the redemption order. Trust settings can be configured from over here. Trust that compliant devices, trust the MFA settings or not. You can also configure the outbound access settings for B2B collaboration, and also tenant restriction option can be used. External collaboration settings will allow you to decide what level of access the guest users are going to enjoy, who are going to be able to send the invite to the external users. So, anyone from your organization, people in some admin roles, or you can decide who are going to be those users who are going to send the invite. Do you want to allow the external users to leave the organization themselves, and also collaboration restrictions where you can deny some particular competitor domains or allow only a specific domains to be invited? And you can keep it on allow invitation to be sent to all the domains possible. So that will be open, and you can change all these settings and click on the save. By that particular section, you can manage the collaboration. Now, apart from guest users, there is an option of contact, and you can create the contact for those users who are from outside that you would like to create a representation over here. So, provide the first name, last name, display name, the email address for the users, and a contact will be created over here, which will be visible in the global list for all the users, and they can definitely contact this person in case of any requirement. You can add all the various details and mail tip details when someone is trying to reach them out, and simply we can create a contact like that. Allow 30 minutes for your changes to take the effect, and after 30 minutes this particular contact will be visible. Microsoft Graph module in PowerShell can also be installed, and you can use the ConnectMG graph, provide your credentials of the admin, or if you provide your credentials which are having limited access, then those right kind of rights and tasks you would be able to perform from here. Right now I'm logging in as a global admin, so basically I am authorized to do perform anything from this PowerShell. Now my PowerShell session, which was local, is now connected with my cloud service. And if I use this commandlet get-mg user, provide my authentication that I am the right user asking for this info, here is a whole list of the users. And I can take the ID, I can modify the users, and I can create new user by using new mg user commandlet, and provide the different parameters and provide the password profile. Run this whole commandlet, and a new user will be created in your intra ID without actually touching the graphical interface. If you want to do some bulk action, you can import a CSV in which all the user detail is given, and you can just simply run the PowerShell commandlet to perform the bulk creation. You can use this graphical interface to download the CSV template, fill the CSV template with the user detail, password, some optional attributes if you want to fill. After filling this whole CSV up, you can upload it back in the same section, and the bulk creation option will take place. You can invite users in bulk, you can delete users in bulk, that all is possible. In user setting, you can definitely configure the default user role permissions. You can decide the guest user restrictions. You can decide whether to restrict access to the admin center or not. And the external collaboration setting, which we have already checked, is also present over here in the user setting. User features which are in preview, do you want to allow them to be used by the user? The My Stuff option will be visible in the self-service catalog or not, and whether users in the cloud will be allowed to reset their own password, in short SSPR. For deleted users, you can come in this section and you can restore the users before 30 days. After 30 days, they will be deleted permanently, and you can check the audit logs for all the changes that are happening in the user section. Sign-in logs will give you the sign-in logs of all the users in a single go. And when you come to the group section, there you can check all the groups Over here, you can restore all the deleted groups from this section, and there are some general settings, general policies available. So if you want to allow the owners to manage group membership from the mygroups.microsoft.com website or restrict the user ability to access group features, all configurations are available here. If you want an expiry date with the groups that you are creating, so after 180 days, the groups which are not in use will be deleted. You can set a custom value in the group lifetime as well. You can enable this expiration for all the groups or selected groups. And if there is no owner on a group, you can provide the email address over here where some information will be sent before actually expiring the group. Saving the changes here will save your expiration policy. So renewal notifications will be emailed to group owners 30 days, 15 days, or 1 day prior to the expiration. In the naming policy section, you can upload a list of keywords in the form of CSV which should be blocked while naming a group, and you can add a prefix and suffix of your choice. In the audit logs, you can check all the changes happening in the group section. Licenses are essential for accessing Microsoft 365 services. You can assign or remove them using the Admin Center or PowerShell. Only global admins and user management admins can manage the licenses. Removing a license deletes service data, but it's recoverable for 30 days. The Admin Center shows assigned versus available licenses and highlights unassigned users as well. When editing, you can replace, assign some more licenses, or unassign all the licenses from the Admin Center. PowerShell is a great tool for bulk assignments and automation in license management. Just make sure each account has a valid usage location before applying licenses. Group based licensing simplifies all the management by applying licenses automatically to group members, which is a scalable approach for larger organizations. So you can easily assign the license to multiple users in a single go. For assigning the license to any user or a group of users, you must come in the M365 Admin Center. You can go in the billing section under licenses, you will find all available licenses and you can easily assign it to a user or a group. These are all the users who already have got this license, and we are going to add this license to guest user that we created some time back. And all these services and apps will be added for this guest user when we click on assign license. So right now this throws a notification and kind of an error that says the location is not updated. So we will have to update the location of this user, then only we can assign them the license as well. So this is a required thing. So click on this particular person and you can edit this property called usage location. Go to contact information, find out the last particular attribute which is country or region and provide some country over here. Click on the save change and without going in the billing section now, you can directly click on this user and you will see the licensing and app. And I can easily now click on the license, save change, and this license is now assigned. I can go back in the licenses section and I will find the whole list, and I want to provide Office 365 E5 license also to this user. I'm going to repeat the same process, add it to the guest user, click on the assign license, and that is all. If you want to remove any service, you can uncheck the checkboxes and that service or app will be removed. So this guest user is now assigned with the license. If you want to send them a customized email that they have been assigned the license and they can enjoy some features, you can do that directly from here. For group assignment, you can click on the group tab and now it will ask you to search for the group. So if you search for, let's suppose, London test group, so 70 to 80 members who are inside are going to receive the license separately. One thing, you must have that much licenses available. If not, go to the marketplace and just click on the details. You can definitely compare any license before actually buying it. So this will give you a small comparison of which license is offering what service and app. So this whole table will give you the idea, and then you can click on the details option to buy this license. So right now I will come back and I will just randomly choose one license here. Let's suppose this M365 Business Premium. So go to the details page and there you will find all the services and application information of this license. And finally, you can provide the number of licenses you want to buy and click on the buy button. When you click on the buy button, so these are some add-ons also which You can add with the license, which are available on a trial version as well, but a payment information will be asked from you. So by this, we have come to the end of this video, and in this one, we have covered how to create and manage users and how to assign license to users and groups. In the next one, it's gonna be all about management groups, intra roles, and Azure roles. So stay tuned with this channel. Like this video and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you very much.